Hidden in plain sight, these ordinary-looking coins carry extraordinary power. What appears to be simple pocket change may actually be a sleeping fortune worth millions. Forged in historic moments and ignored for decades, these tiny copper pieces have the ability to shatter destinies overnight. One careless spend can destroy a future, while one wise decision can unlock unimaginable wealth. These coins are not money. They are time capsules, miracles of metal, and silent keys to sudden fortune. The wheat penny is not just a small copper coin. It is a silent witness to American history, ambition, and hidden fortune. When people hear 1 cent, they think of something ordinary, something ignored, something forgotten in drawers and jars. But the 1950 wheat penny carries a powerful story that turns this belief upside down. Born in a post-war America that was rebuilding its strength and identity, this coin represents a moment when the nation stood between struggle and prosperity. In the world of rare coins, stories matter as much as metal, and the wheat penny story is deep, emotional, and filled with mystery that continues to attract collectors who believe that unimaginable wealth can hide in the smallest form. What makes the wheat penny so fascinating is not just its age, but its design and symbolism. The wheat ears on the reverse side were chosen to represent growth, strength, and abundance, and many believe this symbolism was more than artistic. It was prophetic. The 1950 issue came from a time when minting processes were still imperfect, and those imperfections are where legends are born. Tiny differences in strike, metal flow, alignment, and pressure created coins that were never meant to exist. These rare survivors slipped quietly into circulation, unnoticed, spending decades moving from hand to hand before the world began to realize that some of them were not ordinary at all. Among collectors, the idea of a million-dollar condition wheat penny is spoken about with awe. This does not mean every 1950 coin is valuable, but it means that under extraordinary circumstances, a single cent can break all expectations. Coins struck on the wrong metal, coins with dramatic minting errors, coins preserved in absolutely untouched condition. These are the pieces that rewrite financial destiny. When such a coin appears, it does not behave like a coin anymore. It becomes a relic, a one-of-kind artifact that wealthy collectors and private investors compete for in silence, sometimes paying sums that sound unreal to the average person. The real power of the 1950 wheat penny lies in rarity meeting condition. Time is usually the enemy of coins, but in rare cases, time becomes an ally. A penny protected from moisture, heat, scratches, and human damage can emerge decades later with its original surface glow, sharp details, and untouched character. When combined with a rare striking anomaly, its value multiplies beyond logic. This is why experts often say that spending such a coin without proper knowledge can destroy a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What looks like pocket change to one person can be generational wealth to another. Stories circulate in the coin world about families discovering a single penny in an old box, a forgotten purse, or a sealed roll, only to realize that they were holding something powerful enough to change their entire future. These stories fuel the belief that fortune does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it whispers. The wheat penny, especially from the mid-century era, has become a symbol of this quiet luck. It reminds people that wealth is not always found in banks or businesses, but sometimes in patience, preservation, and awareness. This is why experienced collectors strongly warn against selling such coins cheaply or impulsively. The market for ultra-rare coins operates on trust, reputation, and timing. A truly exceptional 1950 wheat penny does not belong in casual deals or quick sales. Its value grows when it is properly studied, authenticated, and presented to the right audience. In that environment, numbers that once sounded impossible suddenly become realistic. At that level, the coin is no longer a cent. It is a key that opens doors to elite collectors who value uniqueness over money itself. The history of the wheat penny also adds emotional weight to its worth. It was part of everyday American life, passed through hands during moments of hardship, hope, and recovery. Knowing that such a simple object survived decades while carrying potential to become priceless adds to its myth. Collectors are not just buying metal. They are buying time, survival, and a story that cannot be recreated. This emotional connection is often what pushes prices into unbelievable territory when the right coin appears. Belief plays a strong role in this world. Some see the wheat penny as just an old coin, while others see it as a sleeping giant. The difference between these two views can mean the difference between poverty and prosperity. Those who understand coins know that history has already proven one thing clearly. Rare scents have changed lives before, and they can do so again. The idea of becoming wealthy overnight is not fantasy when history itself supports such transformations through rare discoveries. In the end, the 1950 wheat penny stands as a reminder that value is not always obvious. Its power lies in rarity, condition, history, and the human desire to possess something truly unique. If you ever come across such a coin, wisdom matters more than speed. Because in the world of rare coins, one careful decision can protect a fortune that took 75 years to mature, and one careless move can erase it forever. The 1952 wheat penny is one of those coins that looks harmless, ordinary, and almost invisible to the untrained eye. Yet behind its quiet copper face lies a story powerful enough to shake destinies. Born in a time when America was moving forward with confidence after years of global uncertainty, this 1-cent coin entered circulation without noise, without ceremony. Millions of hands touched it, spent it, ignored it, and that is exactly why its legend is so dangerous. Because the greatest fortunes are often hidden where no one thinks to look. The idea that a single penny from 1952 could hold life-changing wealth feels unbelievable. But history has proven again and again that belief often follows discovery, not the other way around. What separates the 1952 wheat penny from countless others is not simply the year stamped on it, but the moment in which it was created. Minting during this era was still a human-guided process, and perfection was never guaranteed. Tiny variations, unnoticed flaws, pressure differences, and rare metal inconsistencies quietly gave birth to coins that were never meant to exist in their final form. These silent mistakes became miracles decades later. When such a coin survives time untouched, its value stops being logical. It becomes symbolic, emotional, and extremely competitive among those who understand what rarity truly means. The phrase million-dollar condition is not fantasy. It is a description of an extraordinary state of survival. A 1952 wheat penny that avoided corrosion, heavy wear, and damage carries its original energy, its original sharpness, its original soul. When rarity meets preservation, price becomes secondary. At that level, collectors are not buying a coin. They are claiming ownership of something irreplaceable. The market for such pieces is driven by desire, scarcity, and pride. And in that world, numbers can climb beyond imagination without warning. There's a reason people say never to rush when you find an old wheat penny. Speed destroys value, while patience creates power. A rare 1952 wheat penny does not announce itself loudly. It waits. It waits for the right eyes, the right moment, the right understanding. Those who mistake it for loose change lose everything it could have offered. Those who respect it, protect it, and let it be studied allow its true worth to surface naturally, often shocking even seasoned collectors. Stories surrounding wheat pennies are filled with quiet drama. Coins discovered in inherited boxes, forgotten jars, or sealed rolls have rewritten family histories. The shock does not come from the money alone, but from the realization that fortune was always there, hiding in plain sight. The 1952 wheat penny carries that same potential. It represents the idea that destiny does not always arrive through struggle. Sometimes it waits patiently to be noticed. This coin also carries emotional weight that money cannot measure. It lived through an era of ambition and rebuilding, passed through everyday lives, witnessing moments of joy, hardship, and hope. That emotional connection amplifies its value when it resurfaces in rare form. Collectors are deeply drawn to objects that survive time honestly, without restoration or artificial enhancement. A naturally preserved 1952 wheat penny becomes a pure time capsule, and purity is priceless in the world of elite collecting. Those who understand rare coins often say that the most dangerous mistake is selling too early. Once a truly exceptional wheat penny leaves your hands cheaply, it never comes back. What looks like a good deal today can become regret tomorrow when the same coin appears years later with a value multiplied many times over. This is why knowledgeable voices always repeat the same warning. Do not let urgency steal your future. A coin like this demands respect, not haste. The idea that such a small object can make someone wealthy overnight feels like a dream, but dreams become real when rarity, condition, and timing collide. The 1952 wheat penny stands as proof that wealth does not always require effort. It sometimes requires awareness. For those lucky enough to possess the right coin in the right condition, the transformation can be sudden and absolute, changing not just finances but entire life paths. In the end, the 1952 wheat penny is more than copper and design. It is a reminder that value is hidden, patience is power, and history rewards those who pay attention. If such a coin ever finds its way into your hands, treat it not as currency but as possibility. Because once in a lifetime, something as small as 1 cent can carry the weight of millions and the power to change everything overnight. The 1956 wheat penny is one of those coins that quietly hides its power behind simplicity. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a small, brown cent from the past, something people would overlook without a second thought. Yet coins like this are the reason legends are born in the world of collectors. Created during a period when America was confident, growing, and focused on the future, this penny entered circulation as an everyday object. No one imagined that decades later, certain examples of this same coin could stand on the edge of unimaginable wealth, capable of transforming an ordinary life overnight. What gives the 1956 wheat penny its mysterious strength is the era in which it was made. Coin production during this time was still vulnerable to human limitation and mechanical inconsistency. Every strike carried the possibility of subtle differences, pressure variations, alignment shifts, metal flow irregularities, that could quietly turn an ordinary penny into something rare. These differences were not celebrated at the time. They were ignored, released, and spent. But time has a way of revealing what the present fails to recognize. Today, those silent anomalies are the heartbeat of million-dollar conversations. The phrase million condition does not exist without discipline and survival. A 1956 wheat penny that remains untouched by corrosion, heavy wear, cleaning, or damage becomes something extraordinary. Its surface tells a story of protection, of chance, of destiny. When a coin like this survives decades with its character intact, it commands respect in the highest circles of collectors. At that level, price becomes emotional rather than logical. Wealthy buyers are not competing for copper. They are competing for uniqueness, ownership, and legacy. There's a reason experienced voices always say, never rush, never assume, never spend first, and ask questions later. The greatest danger to a rare wheat penny is ignorance. Many life-changing coins are lost forever because they were treated like loose change. A truly special 1956 penny does not reveal itself loudly. It waits for patience, curiosity, and understanding. Those who slow down give the coin time to reveal its truth, and sometimes that truth shocks everyone involved. Stories tied to wheat pennies often begin quietly and end dramatically. A coin found in a forgotten drawer, an old family collection, or a sealed roll can suddenly become the center of attention. The shock is not just financial. It is emotional. Realizing that something so small carried such potential for so long changes how people see value forever. The 1956 wheat penny belongs to that category of objects that teach one powerful lesson. Fortune does not always arrive through effort. Sometimes arrives through awareness. This coin also carries the weight of history in a deeply personal way. It passed through ordinary lives, across counters, through pockets, during years of ambition and routine. When such a coin resurfaces in rare and preserved form, it becomes a time capsule. Collectors are drawn to that purity, that untouched connection to the past. The emotional pull of holding a piece of history, exactly as it once was, often drives values higher than logic ever could. Selling such a coin too quickly is one of the most painful mistakes a person can make. Once it leaves your hands cheaply, its future growth belongs to someone else. What feels like good money today can look like a tragic loss tomorrow. The rare coin world rewards those who wait, research, and protect. A 1956 wheat penny with extraordinary qualities deserves time, not urgency. It deserves silence, not noise. The idea of becoming wealthy overnight may sound exaggerated to some, but rare coins have proven time and again that sudden transformation is possible. When rarity, condition, and desire collide, value explodes. In that moment, a penny stops being a coin and becomes a turning point. Lives change not because of luck alone, but because someone recognized what others ignored. In the end, the 1956 wheat penny stands as a reminder that power does not always come in large form. Sometimes it hides in copper, waits through decades, and reveals itself only to those who respect it. If such a coin ever comes into your possession, treat it as more than money. Treat it as potential, as patience, as destiny. Because once in a lifetime, one cent can carry the force to change everything overnight.